Crypto Nation and mining family, what's going on? What up, what up, what up? All you happy hashers out there. I completely just turned my computer off, turned it back on, camera's working now. So this camera is being a butt. I want to choose nice words. So everything else seems to be looking good. I got audio. What's going on, Sadie? What up, Unc? Crypto Tech? What up, Jason the Tiger Osborne? We got John Germain in his house. What's going on, all you awesome people? Yo, it is a day off for me, so I can sit here and do some live streaming. What up, Rude, my dude? What's going on? What up, what up? Don't forget to smash that lizardy like button as you guys are sliding on in here. You guys know what to do. Yo, so let's go ahead and dig right on in. I have no idea if me switching over is gonna work properly. So we'll find out together. Hey, it worked, yeah. None of this was working properly. I had to shut my computer down. You ever have it where you're playing on your computer and you hear that bloop, that sound that your computer makes when you abruptly disconnect something. And you're like, what's disconnected? You're like, I don't see anything disconnected. Everything looks good. Oh, cool. And then a little bit later on, you figure out what decided to say, I'm not connected anymore. And you're like, damn it. That was one of the moments. So let's dig into today's articles, y'all. All right, here. Went all backwards on me, didn't it? Yes, it did. Completely went backwards for where I was originally at, so I got to remember to work this direction now. All right, we're good. I kind of wanted. Oh wow, I kind of really put everything weirdly around here, so I'm gonna do all this. Hold on, guys. And whenever I brought back all the articles, that's what took me a few seconds here. I was looking for the right way to do all of this. All right, that's the main thing. Yeah, we'll just do it like this. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. Bam. We'll just rip the band-aid off, man. Rip Polaris and Vega. AMD Polaris and Vega GPUs only to receive critical updates. AMD is sunsetting its Polaris and Vega support on Windows. This is when you know that it's just too old. So there's going to be no more optimizations for the latest games on here. This stuff is just too old of hardware. Not that you can't mine with it. I mean, guys, when you're mining with this older hardware, we are not utilizing the same drivers, so we don't need the support like that. Even when you're mining on with Hive OS, you're not utilizing traditional drivers anyway, so you're already using third-party drivers. So this is just how it'll be. You'll have to put it on a Hive OS and allow them to create the support required for your card to work. The miners are not going to give up on these cards so easily as the manufacturer. You got to figure it this way: 7-ish years. You can't expect support really beyond that 7-year window. This used to be the biggest standard out there was 7 years, you were done. So Polaris and Vega has been out for a hot minute. I mean, Vega 7 came out almost 7 years ago. At least 5 years ago, the Vega 7s came out. So, and this is just at a time where they're trying to push their newer cards, and you got to look at it from a business perspective. It doesn't make sense to do anything other than a critical update on there anyway. So if anybody's using like the Vega 480s, 470s, your cards have already been sunsetted a long time ago, and they're still gaming, they're still mining. So we don't have to worry too much about that stuff. Just because they're not going to be doing official support for it doesn't mean that the card is dead. So don't be like, oh my god, I have to now. I have my GTX 550 Ti. Bro, that card is over 10 years old. It still boots up. It still runs what I need it to run. I use it more for test card now than a main GPU, but you'll notice that over time when they start sunsetting your card, that you won't be able to play the AAA titles anymore. Your machine starts, you start drastically having to cut down your graphics quality on there to be able to play some of the games you used to play, that kind of stuff. Mining wise, you're not going to see any degradation. It's like that's all going to stay the same. So just kind of look at it from that point of view. As long as you got the driver and the miner for it, you can always mine on the card. But as far as moving forward with these newer cards like this, they're done. They've got better cards out there: the 6600, the 6000 series, 7000 series. They're going to be coming out with an 8000 series. It's going to happen. Don't worry. Will they make a Vega style card in the future? I'm not sure if they're going to, because if most people, what you don't understand, if you're not familiar with the AMD Vega lineup, what made them so special was the HBM memory that was in there. Super fast memory. They put the memory modules as close to the VGA core on there. It would speed up transmission between memory and VGA core, which made them more of an accelerated card, even if it was the same hardware as the standard GPU counterpart. Because of the relationship of the HBM memory in there, it gave it a clock boost. So these cards were uber efficient at what they would do, but they would generate some serious heat. And HBM memory does not like I'm going to just turn it off, or oops, I had a power outage. The Vega lineup was very notorious for the code 43s, which was basically your memory module just popped on it and committed suicide because there was no more fan spin on the cooler, and you had thermal creep on it until the die cracked. Ask anybody who's had a Vega lineup that's died on them, what was the lead up of it dying? Usually it was an abrupt turnoff. You basically you let those things cool down, you let the fan spin down until it's registering at its coolest point where there's little to no fan spin on there, and then you can safely turn the rigs off. Going into HBM2 memory, that would be the Vega 7. They were notorious for abrupt power outages killing the cards. So, especially under high load. Yo, what up, Tech Man? What up? Red Panda's had several code 43s. And if you look at what Red Panda was doing once he discovered what the problem was, I kind of said something to him one day. I'm like, stop just turning them off. It's the HBM2 memory. They're cracking the dies. He sent one out. They came back, told him it was cracked. He stopped just turning them off. He would turn the miner off and let them down hash, cool down, and then he started turning them off because he realized it was a heat relationship issue. And good God, they're coming out with HBM3 memory in the lineup, guys. There is some talks out there. Considering that we are talking about the AMD confirming that they're sunsetting their Vega lineup, which utilize the HBM memory. I'm sure they're going to utilize the HBM memory still in their workstation lineups, but not for retail use. It just never really made sense, and I get it. But I know this means nothing to the mining world anymore, but I mean, back in the day, back in my day, when you used to be able to mine that Atidium, you can still mine Atidium Classique. So this might actually help over there. But I think because of all the ASICs that are coming out, they're going to be gobbling up as much memory as they can so that they can have the biggest hash on there. So we have HBM3 memory that's looking like it's going to be coming out next year. So we got the HBM3E. In 2025, we're going to have HBM4 to HBM4E. So these, whenever you see the E signification, that's just them figuring out some optimizations in there and being able to expand. It's just like whenever they dropped out with the GDDR5 and GDDR6 memory, it was single gigabyte memory modules. They figured out how to double stack them. Now we get 2 gig modules, right? So it'll be the same thing in this lineup. But we also see GDDR7 memory coming up at optimized and non-optimized speeds. So we'll see GDDR7 and GDDR7X probably if we go with the NVIDIA numbering on this. And then you got RDIMM coming out with an 800 megabytes per second. MCRDIMM coming out even faster. So, I mean, we got some lineups on memory modules coming out from Micron. This all scales all the way out to 2028. So we see their roadmap being published. So we are seeing some really cool stuff out there. But too bad there's nothing that a GPU miner is going to be really effective with to be mining with these modules. My curiosity is that when GDDR7 memory modules come out, do we see the next evolution in Ethereum Classic ASICs? Because if so, then I believe my theory still runs true that we are looking at either they've figured out how to do an ASIC adaptation for replacing, can I put it? Replacing the SoC chip that was in the first generations of Ethereum miners and Ethereum Classic miners were SoC chips with memory modules on there. Did they figure out how to do the SoC chip in an ASIC format? And how much memory to ASIC chip are they able to utilize? Because you know they're not bypassing the necessity of hardware. They still need the memory hardware on there. So with this next evolution of memory, do we also see the next evolution of Ethereum Classic miners? So that will be a pretty significant question from the hardware standpoint. I mean, we all know that we're going to see this all in gaming and in data centers, right? HBM memory, we're going to see exclusively more into the data centers. They've been there for years. That's what it's made for, AI stuff. AI benefits highly from the faster throughput for the calculation side of things. Ethereum Classic can utilize it too, but I don't see anybody wanting to make a card just so that people can mine it to death. We'll leave that to the ASIC manufacturers. I would be really curious, I mean super curious, if the ASIC manufacturers for Ethereum Classic, if they're integrating any kind of HBM memory into the setup. Because that's where I think you're going to see the bigger significant bumps. is, you know, are they integrating faster throughput memory? I mean, like whenever I've seen like some of these Ethereum Classic miners getting opened up, it looks like FPGAs. And I do know that the FPGAs were benefiting from the HBM memory. So I'm wondering if the bigger bad boy ASICs on here are going to be utilizing the newer HBM memory on here, or they're going to be utilizing the GDDR7 memory, because like that's going to tell you where the bump in performance is really going to shoot up to, and it's going to tell me from the hardware standpoint of which one they're favoring. Right? I mean, it's just a, you know, like you can calculate all this stuff. That's one thing I love about the hardware side of things. I can meaningfully calculate what the performance boost is. Why? Because you can see it right in the numbers here. Let's see if I can make this a little bigger. Is it gonna let me? No. Oh, here we go. So you're looking at, you know, 1.2 terabytes per second of memory transfer here versus, you know, 128 gigabytes per second. So you can see the performance boost between, and it, depending on which one the ASIC manufacturers are utilizing for Ethereum Classic, is going to tell me where they're, the cheaper ones are probably going to be using the 128 gigabytes per second. So these are going to be your less efficient miners, and then you're going to have the HBM memory. Those are going to be your high efficient miners. So just kind of keep that in mind if you guys are wanting to support Ethereum Classic on ASIC, because we know that it's no longer a GPU world over there. And if you guys are Azus fans and you're wanting to do the Evelyn themed motherboard, and you're willing to pay for the premium of a $700 board, it's an ROG Maximus Z790 Hero Evangelion motherboard, has a typo in it. Dun dun dun! Oh my god, what? So, oop, it brought me right over here. All right, I just wanted to have this really big. So this is your typo. It's on the heat spreader. Fortunately on this is that where you're seeing it is right next to the graphic image of this Japanese anime art here. So what's sitting above this in most people's PC cases is there is a 120 millimeter rear exhaust fan, would normally be covering this up. So if it bothers you that there's a typo in there that has not been fixed for over a month, now if you think about it, they shipped these out, somebody missed it in quality control. It's not that they haven't fixed it in months, it was just that these were already out there. What do you want them to do? Recall them all so they can fix the cover plate on it really quickly? I'm sure Asus, if they're a decent company, they're just going to offer you to send out a new heat spreader on here. It has a correction on it. I think that'd be the easiest and most effective way. Anybody that's been affected by the typo because it doesn't fit their theme, you know, they wanted to have a specific build theme, which, bro, the one of the builds for it, it's kind of dope, dude. I kind of dig it. All puns intended. I kind of dig it. You know, a full Asus build. Nice case on, you know, a nice custom case on there. Cooling. Good colors. I mean, I'm a sucker for black and red already. Little green accents on there, bro. I totally dig this build. Total. But even in this build, you know, it's like, the rear 120 mil fan is covering up not only the entire, all the words over there, but a portion of the graphical art that's on that heat spreader. So how much are you really losing because you've already got a fan orientation above this? It's kind of like, if you know it's there, does it bother you that much even though you can't see it? Or do you want them to make it right? Now, I think that, you know, like I said, it should be easiest just to, hey, Zeus, just fix it. If people are bothered by it, just ship them a new cover. Don't have them send in the whole board. We don't need them to do that. If it bothers the end user that badly, have the end user have both of them. This way, they not only have the corrected one, but they have the one that's uncorrected as a keepsake. You know, higher value if you got the complete set. I'm just saying. I actually kind of I dig this. Completely dig this. Even though it's got a typo on there, I think the typo just makes it work more, I guess. That's just me. I like collecting oddball things, and the color scheme on there, I dig it. I can care less about the artwork. I care more about color scheme, because this artwork that's on the rear heat spreader here, it's so small, and I have it, you know, it's like, even if I were to put it in display mode and I put it on top of my desk, or I gave it its, you know, own little thing off to the side of my desk over here where I can just set it up that way, I wouldn't care in the slightest bit about the artwork, because you're only going to see about half of it with a 120 mil fan already covering it up. So that's just me. That's why I like some of the stuff, like some of the themes on some of these motherboards I never really got into, because of how most people build their computers. That's just my opinion. You guys can fillet me in the comments, or comments down below if you want. All right. And then we've got a 20th edition, and 2 color options. I'm not sure if I'm really in it for what they're trying to do here. So Galax preps not 1 but 2 commemorative designs for its 20th anniversary. I get it. 20th anniversary, you want to kind of, it's a milestone for most companies. You can survive 20 years. The odds of you surviving at least another 20 years is very high. So, I mean, it's great to see a company that's been producing product that people like and have continued to bought all these years. I totally love it, you know. Again, you can do the, you know, Galax being a Asian company, they love their anime over there, so a lot of their locally sold GPUs will have a lot of the anime art on there. So if you guys love your Japanese anime, bro, you can do an anime mining rig, dude. Just saying. Galax would fit your need. I like the carbon fiber one that's down below here, but it comes with a hella premium, guys. I mean, you do get different options. I get it. But I'm just not in it for $2,743 for the white model, or $2,880 for the carbon edition. The carbon edition has the higher performance rating on there, so it comes in at a premium. So yeah, as much as I like the cards, but not at almost $3,000 for a GPU. I get it, it's a 20th anniversary. Company's been around for a hell of a minute. But I don't see almost $3,000 worth of performance here, or value, right? if they gave me the Hall of Fame performance on this card, like these were ultra uber binned, they might not have been binned up as high as their Hall of Fames, but they should be binned near the top with them for it to call for this kind of pricing on there. Yes, they're more. They have a little bit more performance 4090 than their base model 4090. Cool, but they I think it should be in the Hall of Fame edition, Hall of Fame area for performance wise. If they were going to be selling it for this pricing, that's just me. What up, Automatic Beats? What's going on, my dude? What's going on? But if you want to do a anime build, guys, I mean, this would be it for you. This would be peak anime mining rig build. I think Tech Shinji should do this. He likes to do these high-end, really beautiful builds, right? Tech Shinji, if you ain't checked them out, I mean, he hasn't been doing mining content in a while. But when mining comes back, for GPU side of things, he is a miner in heart. But yeah. But he makes some amazing rigs, custom builds. That's what got me to even introduce myself to him. Was I was talking to him about his water block build that he did. It was just beautiful. But yeah, I mean, we're seeing some good performance out of these two cards variations. But again, the carbon fiber one for a little bit of a premium is going to be the one that everybody's going to want if they're going to go down this pathway, especially when you're only talking about $130, $140 difference between the two cards. You're already dropping over $2,000 on it, and you want this particular card. Go all out, right? Do not worry about trying to, But staying on the Galax thing, guys, if you are trying to make a nice compact mining rig and you want a new card, well, check this out. This actually kind of looks pretty nifty if you're asking Mike. It's a single slot 4060 Ti blower card. Think about how many of these bad boys you could pack into a 4U server case. I mean, think about how many of these things you can actually put in. Holy cow. One din deep. Truly one din deep. Worst case scenario, if you really pack them in tight, you might have to take the back plate off. But this is still a one din card, guys. That's awesome. So if you're trying to make a workstation, small form factor, this one is going to be the card for you. But if you're trying to mine on it, this would be pretty interesting. One should remember that the 4060 Ti is an 8 PCIe lane GPU. So using 2 or 3 of these cards is not going to be a problem for any consumer board, let alone going on to a mining rig where you're using a buy one and you don't give a crap about the backside of the data lanes, because you're not trying to do video encoding. You're just using the encoder. So even though you do get some video output out of a buy one slot, but your graphic output is very limited. It's like CPU, like Intel CPU onboard graphics, like quality. I mean, I've gamed on a GPU in a buy one, But trust me, you're gonna be turning down a lot of your graphics interfaces on it. But for for mining wise, oh man, this is actually kind of interesting. Like, you can get a really small custom, and you'd almost be able to do a really nice proof of useful work for Flux. I wonder if these would actually benefit with proof of useful works on Flux if they ever launch that, right? We'll get into some of that controversy here in a moment. That'd be interesting stuff there. And if you guys are into any of the mini form factor stuff here, the mini S Forum mini PC with the Ryzen 7840HS is tested with a graphics card, guys. So you are able to actually get a graphics card to link up to this. You're gonna have to do some special stuff. It's not like you're gonna be able to utilize a off-the-shelf PCIe, buy one and this is gonna work amazingly. You're gonna take a small performance hit, but it's gonna be better than the onboard graphics that are on here. You're gonna be able to utilize a full graphics card. You're going to be syncing this in with the Lightning port, so this way you've got the speed, you got the power to delivery through it, you got everything you need there. It's going to be a special adapted board. If you could see here underneath the graphics card here, they're giving it its own power. And it's definitely on an adapted they're plugging in a USB 4 connector. So you can see that this is not your standard setup here. But if you guys are into small form factor and you like the idea that your computer can mount on the back of your monitor and all your wiring is nice and hidden, you might be able to adapt it for a graphics card. And hell, you might even be able to mine this way too. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. That's one reason why I was like, I wonder if anybody's going to try this and mine on it. I mean, I just don't have them. I can't justify right now buying this. I kind of want it. I kind of want that adapter too. Just so that I can test on this and see how it mines. I'm really kind of curious. Anyone buying KS0 Pro? Not at the moment. Not at the moment. I don't know if any of you guys are. I know it's profitable with the price of Caspa going up. That is for sure. And if you don't think that NVIDIA is money hungry at all, here's some more proof that they're money hungry. Bum, bum, bum. So they are now going to be doing the super variant. So we're going to see the 4070 Ti Super, and a 4080 Super, and a 4070 Super. Don't worry. Their 4090s are melting down still, even with the version 2 connector. Yep, NVIDIA has not solved their connector problem. And yet they're still trying to pump out cards that are kind of just like a pinch better for a whole boatload more money. Just doesn't make sense. I mean, they're just trying to make their how can I put this? It's almost as if they're directly answering to their stock shareholders and going, "What else do you want us to do? Release the Super?" Aye, boss. And it's like, it's really kind of a hodgepodge way of like releasing product instead of just releasing the best gaming products out there. Now they're just releasing products that are slightly, minusculely better than the last product. and expecting you to pay top dollar for it. Because they want to be like, oh, Moore's Law is dead. It's like, no, you're just trying to milk it out for profits at this point. And it's very obvious, considering that AMD is selling their stuff for way cheaper, and they're producing graphics cards that are just as good. I mean, I was born just now yesterday. So, I mean, with the super lineup coming out, it definitely looks like a money grab on here. They're still utilizing the 12 volt high power connector on there. But yeah, I'm just not happy with that particular connector style that they're trying to implement, that's been implemented into the data centers. Data centers are not people at home. They need to make a connector that's more friendly to the people at home and are not going to be destroying their stuff. But they spent big bucks for, you know. So to me, it's kind of getting really rough to continue to want to buy. I mean, like I said, I think my next GPU that I will be buying for if I ever upgrade my GPU again, which it'll happen, just not like anytime soon, but I'm thinking I'm going to be going into AMD, and I'm going to have a pure AMD gaming setup. And I'll just live with it, knowing that I'm dealing with a company that actually like realizes, oh, wait a minute, we're kind of gouging our customers. Well, let's set our price back to where the customers are willing to pay for it again. Customers sent a very clear message to AMD that, hey, look, you got a good product, but at the price you're trying to give it to us, no. And the people need to do it back to NVIDIA now. That's just my opinion on things. You know, you can agree with me or not. Let me know in the comments, dude. Do you agree with that? You know, it's like FA in the chat if you agree. And then let's go ahead and let's dive into today's headline. You guys haven't I've been on YouTube for a while. I know a lot of you guys that I see in the chat, you will have seen this from a bunch of other people already. I'm just gonna lightly top onto this one. I think a lot of the other YouTubers have covered this very adequately. You know, SRBminer, I don't think that they are truly the bad guys in the situation. I think that they figured out something, and back in the day, back when mining Bitcoin was very lucrative also, somebody would figure out an efficiency improvement, and they wouldn't say anything to anyone else. They would keep that to themselves. That's what SRBminer did here. They weren't being malicious with it, but you know, they saw a definite opportunity, and they gave AMD a definite edge. So as this writer was like saying, it's like the Dynax algorithm is divided into two parts. SRBminer, which provides the software for us to use as a miner with a reward, found an exploit that allowed them to almost entirely skip the SAT part, only solving for the ML learning part fully. Allowed them to increase the hash rate of the people using their software. This means that people would earn more Dynex in rewards. So the machine learning job calculations are computed accurately. Functionality of the Dynax SDK has never been compromised. They are correct on this. Nothing was compromised in there. It was just that they were able to bypass a portion of mining that everybody else was adhering to the rules over. They were like, well, why are we solving for the SAT part if I can just concentrate over here? So they figured that out, which meant that this is why everybody was utilizing SRB. Now, this is an issue with Dynex, not SRB. That means that the SAT part and the ML part is not joined together at the hip. And that's what they figured out how to bypass. If they didn't have to do the SAT part, they're going to be quicker on the machine learning aspect of it. So that means they're going to spend less time for the calculation if they only have to answer for one aspect. You give somebody one job and they're going to do it very well. Which this also allowed for AMD to actually be utilized here too. Dynex Twitter account has shared more detail of the breakdown of the exploit, as well as when a fix will be implemented. But they're taking steps to remove SRBminer from the Dynex network. I don't know how well they're going to be able to do this. This will be very interesting. The only thing that they're going to be able to do is make SRBminer adhere to the rules, which would mean that the SAT and the ML need to be joined at the hip for verification through the validation aspect. So I'm not sure how they're going to be able to really fix this. I don't think they're going to be able to get rid of SRBminer at all. It's a permissionless network. So knowing that it's permissionless, all they can do is change the code to make the miners adhere to the rules. That's all it's going to be. The talks of a new AMD miner will be provided by SMOL. So there are some takeaway bits here. SRBminer is removing support for Dynex next update. See, that'd be stupid on their part. I think that unless it's just that nobody's utilizing. Now, if everybody stops using SRBminer for Dynex, then yeah, SRB makes sense to get rid of Dynex on next update. But if everybody's still willing to utilize SRBminer for Dynex, they just need to adhere to the rules. And right now, they're adhering to the rules. I really look at this as a problem on Dynex's part, that nobody tried to see if there was any exploits that could be bypassed and in essence, almost doubling their hash rate. Just saying. So, I mean, as of right now, it's still being, the miner will be allowed until the new AMD mining software has been put out. So, and it looks like SRBminer will be picking up the tab on the AMD side of it, because we all know that it's been an NVIDIA thing. AMD just, no go, right? No fly zone. So, Dynex developers have also received some negativity over this, and there is this who is to blame discussion. SRBminer did not write the code for Dynex. Dynex did not double check to see if anything could be exploited. Rule 1 in code development is you need penetration tests on your software. Otherwise, somebody's going to figure it out. Now, is it my responsibility if I'm a software developer and I'm trying to make some mining software, if I figure it out, is it my job to make sure you are aware of this? Or is it more my job, if I'm making software for the public to utilize, that the public is going to want to utilize my software because it's going to earn them the most? Who's my loyalty to? From the software mining developer, it's going to be to the customer, because they're the ones that are going to be paying that mining fee, right? So this is a problem with Dynex themselves, not software developers, not the mining developers. So Dynex needs to fix the correlation with it, and it's probably going to change how the miners are going to be set up for proof of useful work. This might be some of the reasons why Flux hasn't come out with their proof of useful work also, is they might be battling over this aspect right here. How do you get the SAT and the machine learning aspect to be joined at the hip? We'll have to see. We'll have to see how they're going to do this. Is this going to kill off? I mean, is anything nefarious with Dynex at this point? No. They just got a bug in their code with the mining side of it that will allow for a bypass of the whole proof of useful work. So that's on them. Hope they fix it. But if they don't, it's on them, and that will mean that they run the chance of anybody that knows how to make a miner will try to use this exploit, even if they're doing it in private, which there are enough people out there in private. If they know the exploit exists, I will guarantee you that SRBminer is not the only one utilizing this exploit. I'm not talking about SRBminer or any of the other miners that we all know. But SRB, I bet you, is not the only person out there mining with the code set up the way they got it. Guarantee you there's somebody out there privately mining and has been mining this whole time with this exploit. It just makes me wonder, right? I'm just saying. And here's an interesting one. This one kind of goes with a plethora of other issues, actually. Because we all, Binance got hit for like over $30,000 or something like that in crypto that they lost. But here we got Binance trying to move around some coinage. They had 40,000 Bitcoin. Yes, 40,000 Bitcoin held in a cold wallet that they moved. 10,000 to the Binance hot wallet, and then 1 to a newly created Bitcoin wallet. Now, were they moving this as a strategic movement of making sure there's no exploits, or is this like a transfer of ownership? I don't know. That one's like a tinfoil hat conspiracy on that one. I think it's just that they've had a couple of exploits in the company, and I think they're trying to mitigate some of the exploits, and they're moving stuff around. So they're going to be moving, some of it to their exchange hot wallet for everybody to be able to exchange with. With Bitcoin price rising, there's going to be more demand for Bitcoin. So it could be that some of their coffers are low, and they were like, you know what? If we're going to move some of this, we're going to move all of this. The wallet that here is now done. We're going to put it all into a new wallet. And that would make sense. It really would. So so they got a new wallet. The wallet's public. So we're not there, it's a public blockchain. So it's not like anything is being done behind closed doors. We're all able to see what they did. But again, I think it's just more that they were trying to fill up their hot wallet a little bit here and just move around some coinage to a new wallet so that they can mitigate any kind of security risks. Because we all know that if you've got a wallet out there and you're going to have that wallet, especially with 40,000 Bitcoin in it, it's being penetrated, tested on a daily basis. There are people there that are trying to crack that wallet by any means necessary. So, makes sense to move it every so often. Be like, oh, you thought you were close. Let me go ahead and just move it. I'll reset that clock for you. You know, that's just me. So we're going to be seeing some of that moving around. To me, it's a very smart move for any exchange to be moving around their cold wallet from time to time. This way, if there's anybody trying to penetrate their wallet, they can basically tell them to F off when they move it. Be like, yeah, here's the new wallet address, start over. The odds of you cracking a Bitcoin wallet is slim to none. If you like your odds to be slim to none, then go for it. Oh, you brought a KS0 Pro. I'm not sure if I want to do that, you know. I mean, it's 200 gigahash for 100 watts. It's like you're basically looking at like 450, 500 after being shipped. It's got provisions to put a 120 millimeter fan on there to keep things nice and cool. Can't put a tube to Bitcoin on 2 miners, brother. 2,438 a year after. Yeah, I just don't see like mining Caspa. I would rather do like Ethereum Classic if I was going to do a miner, especially a super poop coin miner. I mean, I know these things are profitable to a point, right? Like to a point. Let's see here. Like I get that Bitcoin, bro. That's all. See, I just don't want to do it with like such low powered equipment. And I don't want to spend a boatload of money. I mean, a couple of grand on an ASIC, I'm okay with. $4 grand and up on an ASIC, I'm not hip on that. I'm not hip on that. But I mean, the $500 range, that's like to me in the mini Doge range. It'll be outdated very quickly. It's like one of those things of it's low powered equipment that you could easily run. In $100, you know, even if it was $100 a month and a power, you're not spending, you know, a whole lot. Most people can handle $100 electric bill extra to be mining. All three only cost me like about, so you'd be like on solar mining too, yeah. I mean, if you got set up a solar miner and you got some smaller stuff, but then you got all of that equipment, the setup, to get up and running. You got to You have to pay yourself to set that equipment up, or you're gonna have to pay somebody else to set that equipment up for you. You know, so you got time, equipment, space. To me, a lot of that is it's like, how can I put it? It's like cool stuff to play with, but not practical to scale. If that makes sense. Not saying that, hey guys, don't play with this stuff. Don't ever do it. It's not worth it. If you're wanting to expand a lot, it's not worth it. If you want to play around with it and you want to be like, hey, proof of concept, I can do it. Oh, more power to you. It's pretty cool stuff. I mean, it's like me with my little small form factor stuff. You know, it doesn't really do anything, but you know, $100 here, $100 there. It's not going to break the bank for me to play around with it. Solar stuff though, to run, you know, 400 or 500 watts worth of equipment. You know, you can be $1,000 on that plus your mining equipment. So, I mean, yeah, exactly. The ETCMC nodes. And guys, please, this is a public service announcement here. Public service announcement brought to you by Nemesis here. Stay away from crypto.com. Yep, stay away from crypto.com. Crypto.com now has internet version of herpes. They have joined the World Economic Forum. They have become the enemy. Anybody utilizing crypto.com. Just saying. You know it's bad news bear when they go to World Economic Forum and pledge allegiance over there. Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know that's how they did that with burst mining, with burst coin back in the day. I knew that it was all hard drive mining. But yeah, I mean, guys, stay away from crypto.com. If you guys got any wallets that have touched crypto.com, they are now dirty. They have sold your information to the elites. You just had a data breach. You need to go, if you have touched crypto.com, the World Economic Forum is your new data breach. They have shared their information with the elites, guys. This is not a drill. Not telling you what to do, but this is not a drill. I'm just saying. Yeah, why read the plots when you can just read the winners? Exactly. I was talking to Nick's Ops about that, and he was saying that he was talking about that with me a few years ago. And if anybody doesn't know, Nick's Ops helped do a lot of the coding for Burstcoin. He was a big supporter of Burstcoin. And yeah, he was saying that, you know, it's like once people figure it out how to tell by just quickly looking at the information, they could tell which one had, essentially which one was going to have a payout. and you didn't have to worry about it because it was all done by like file size or something. He tried to explain it to me. Like at that time, I didn't quite get it, but it was still interesting. What do you mean shared our info? Guys, this Crypto.com joins the World Economic Forum. If you have touched anything with Crypto.com, have anything to do with them, your information just got shared with the World Economic Forum. The elites basically have shared your information with each other. So, yeah, to me, this is a data breach. I have never used Crypto.com, thank God. But yeah, this here is a data breach. Do I believe that every exchange out there is a bit of a data breach? Yes. Do I use exchanges still? Yes. I am a lot more careful of how I send coins in and out of those exchanges. I send them to mixers. This way, those coins never come to me directly. You see what I'm talking about? So if you guys have utilized Crypto.com and you've sent anything to your own personal wallet out of there, I mean, your personal data, you know, who you are, that's already given over. But if you want to mitigate the track and traceability of your own personal crypto wallets, you might have to hopscotch your crypto around if they've touched your Crypto.com wallet and go through some mixers and then send them to new fresh wallets. That would be me. This means that if you guys have sent directly from Crypto.com to your own personal wallet, that means that all of that data associated to you is now able to be seen how much Bitcoin you have, and they can see how much finances you are trying to them hide, right? So Nathan, so one needs to clean their BTC with Monero and then get their new wallet for their BTC. Yeah, we're not telling you not to do that. That may or may not have been a good idea, Nathan Pyle. One may never know. Oh. But yeah, so I kind of try to tell people, like, you know, you need to mitigate your loss, your exposure online. It's like, granted, I know the moment you buy something online, your information's exposed. Why? Because you need a mailing address. So they've got a name and an address. You just mitigated all your security. But I'm not sitting there and exposing my bank records online, right? I'm not sitting here and flashing, this is how much I have in my bank account. This is how much comes into my bank account on a monthly basis. No. But on Bitcoin, we can track and trace all that stuff because it's a public ledger. Also use a VPN. VPNs aren't also foolproof. VPN to me is like step 1. Step 2, understanding what Tor is, you know, and understanding how to actually set up a legitimate way, a legitimate portal to get into your Tor browser. So, but know that VPNs are only step one. I'll sit there and I'll buy some Bitcoin sometimes on exchange, and I dollar cost average still. Psh, psh. Why not, right? So, but I just know that I'm buying something and I'm sending it to a mixer, and then sending it to another mixer, and then it goes to my wallet. So good luck trying to follow my coins that are going through mixer to mixer with no accounts. Let's see here. We are at 4:17. Wow, we're over an hour. Damn. We are over that 1 hour mark. So I think it's that time. That time. Call it. Thinking about doing some gaming here in a little bit, so I may go live again. I'm not sure. Depends on how I feel. I gotta sit there and do some chores around the house. Once I get all that my chores done, see how I feel. And I might go live, do some gaming, guys. So if you guys are wanting to hang out, do some gaming with me, I'll probably do some WRC off-road rally racing. Yo. That is true, Jason. Be careful when you're using mixers. Do your research on your mixers, guys. Make sure you're using good mixers. I can't sit there and publicly recommend any. But if you guys are looking for mixers, certainly hit me up in the Discords. Links to the Discord down below if you haven't joined already. What are you waiting for, guys? Get in there. It's where all the cool people are. I'm just saying. So if you guys are looking for mixers, I can help you out with that. I utilize a couple of different mixers and have had zero problems with them. And I'm able to get a hold of their support line very quickly. Their support line, top notch. I've tested them out. Love it. So, with that being said, thank you everybody for being here. Certainly smash that like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. Certainly drop those FAs in the Chizity chat, guys. Y'all rock. Y'all know what it's. You all are the coolest people ever. You know. So, with that being said, all you guys are rated at full freaking awesome. Yo. And I gotta do updates for the homestead. We're at the end of the year, but chickens are doing great. The girls are awesome. I'm just saying, still laying eggs. They're molting a little bit, so their egg production has dropped, but once they're done molting, they'll be right back into egg production because they're young. It's awesome. So definitely drop those FAs in the Chizity chat. Y'all rock. Certainly, whenever the video ends, click out on one of the YouTube suggestions. Helps me with the click-through rate on YouTube. Just saying, it helps me out. Thank you for everybody who does do that. Yo. And with that being said, peace out. Stay savage. And may your watts be low and your hash be high. And I'll see you on the next one. Yo.